Welcome to the CrossFit Train Rope Climb tutorial. The first rule of Fight Club is to always wear a rope climbing sleeve when you rope climb, or else you will end up with gashes on your shin that will never heal. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to demo the rope climb. Watch. Okay, so the goal of the rope climb is to use our lower body as much as possible to help us up that rope. We're going to do that by learning how to lean back on the rope and by learning how to clamp our feet in a solid clamp position and then stand up from that, get up high, and do it again. You'll notice when I climbed the rope, I did it in 2 poles. That's going to be our goal for the day. The first part of the rope climb is the clamp. We're going to start by sitting on a box. It's the easiest way to learn this without having to worry about much. And the first piece is what I call knee on the outside, foot on the inside. So we want our knee on the outside of the rope and our foot on the inside of the rope. The way I remember this is doing this is reasonable. Doing that would be weird. We don't do weird. All right, so the first piece, we're going to put our hands up high, knee on the outside, foot on the inside, and then our other foot is going to grab the rope and clamp it to that original rope. That original foot. When we clamp, we use the inside of our shoe. This inside part on any CrossFit shoe is going to have extra rubber. That extra rubber is to press together that rope, and it'll make it so your shoe doesn't tear. So that's why that's there, is for rope climb. So we're using that to clamp that rope. I'm going to show that again. Knee on the outside, foot on the inside. Grab it and clamp. When you clamp, you should be standing on top of that other foot. I should be pressing those feet together. So the next stage, step number 2, knee on the outside, foot on the inside, clamp, and then prove that your clamp works by coming off of the rope. Coming off of the box. If you come off of the box, you know that your clamp was holding. The next step, we are going to lean back further, clamp those feet, and then we're going to stand up from that clamp, further proving that that clamp has worked. So lean back, clamp the feet, come off the box, stand up, come back down, and back on that box. All right, for the next step, we no longer need the box. All right, now we're going to stand tall, reach up to start, knee on the outside, foot on the inside. I recommend practicing that a few times so we know how that's going to go. Then we're going to lean back and clamp our feet. There's no need to climb yet. We want to make sure that we've got a good clamp and that we're all tucked in like a monkey here. So do a few reps of that. Knee on the outside, foot on the inside. Lean back and clamp. All right, once we have that figured out, we're going to climb. So we're going to have our hands up high. We're going to lean back, clamp our feet. Then we're going to reach up high. So hands up high. Lean back, bring the feet up, clamp. Reach up high. At this juncture, we can start talking about being more efficient in the rope climb. What we are looking for is that you have straight arms, as straight as they can be, and that's going to enable you to get your feet up as high as you can. If instead you bend your arms, you will not be able to get your legs up for that clamp. Much more efficient to keep those arms straighter. So watch again, my arms are straight. I bring the feet way up, clamp, and then stand up tall. All right, so the last step you just did, that was already a rope climb. That's what we call a 1-pole rope climb. You brought your feet up, you clamped, and you reached up high. A full rope climb would likely be 2 or 3 poles and would take you all the way to the top. I recommend that you just work on 2-pole rope climbs, if able, until you are able to efficiently get really close to the top. 3 poles and beyond starts to become dangerous. You're on the rope for way too long and you're not being efficient, which means it's not safe for you to be up there. So the 2-pole rope climb, I'm going to do the 1 pole, reach up high, and then I'm simply going to restart the process and do another pole. When I go to restart the process, I need to unclamp my feet and have it just be that right leg for the next pole. So I'll show what that looks like. So here I am, 1 pole rope climb, stand up. For the second pole, I unclamp, knee on the outside, foot on the inside, clamp again, and reach up. Once you have the 2-pole rope climb, you're definitely climbing a rope. Try to get more efficient, get those legs up higher and get better at that. But the final piece of the rope climb is the descent. When you're first learning, the descent can be a huge energy suck if you aren't doing it right. It can also be a pretty uncomfortable part of the rope climb. The proper way to descend is to keep the clamp, but widen your feet up and use them as brakes. The wider they are, the less of a brake. The tighter they are, the more of a brake. You've got to learn how that rope works and use that on the way down. At CrossFit Train, we tell all athletes to come all the way down, hand over hand, until they're at the floor. Then you put your feet on the floor and you're done. We do not recommend dropping off the rope. If you land with your feet on the rope, it is very easy to twist an ankle. I have seen that happen multiple times in here. So I'm going to show that 2-pole rope climb again, and then I want you to look at my descent. I'm going to use the clamp and hand over hand to come all the way down. Hand over hand, using my feet as brakes. If they're tighter, it's more. If they're looser, it is faster. All right, you're ready to rope climb. Again, wear a rope sleeve. I highly recommend limiting yourself to 2 poles unless you are already very comfortable on the rope. 2 poles should be able to get you all the way up there unless you are significantly shorter than me. And I'm already a bit of a shorty, 5'7". So I don't recommend more than 2 poles unless you are already really comfortable or have been doing it a while. Have fun, get after it.